Good morning. Saturday morning. We read from Matthew 10:21 through 23, which is not really one of those passages that anybody wants to read, where Jesus says, "Brother will deliver brother over to death, and the father his child. And children will rise against parents and have them put to death. And you will be hated by all for my name's sake. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. When they persecute you in one town, flee to the next. For truly I say to you, you will not have gone through all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes." So Matthew sees in his community, in his time, which is some decades after Jesus' death and resurrection, he sees that parents are turning in their children and children their parents. Believers are turning against each other, even in families. And Christians are rejected by those who know them and love them. The Jewish community around them, the Gentile communities, everybody hates these Christians. And they're getting turned in, and when you're turned in, you're typically tortured and often put to death. That's the way it was in the ancient world. And so that's happening. Matthew sees that, and he reflects that in what he writes, how he phrases what he has Jesus saying. And then Jesus says, if they reject you in one town, go to the next. You won't even have time to go to every town before the Son of Man returns. Jesus himself seemed to think that history would be short and that the end would be soon. And so there's not a lot of time. He didn't foresee thousands of years of history, perhaps. He says, you won't even have time to go everywhere, so don't worry about it. If they reject you, go to the next place and do what you can. I think the key thing that he says in here is the one who endures to the end will be saved. He's saying, don't give up. Don't despair. Yes, it's going to be tough. Yes, there'll be people that reject you. You'll have to suffer, but that's going to be okay. God is going to hold you close, even if you suffer, even if they kill you. Now, we have the luxury of living in a country that is more or less Christian. You certainly can't get seriously persecuted in our land for being a Christian. People say things all the time, but really, you don't get hunted down and shot because you have this radical, subversive Christian faith. You might get laughed at, but that's a long way from being tortured. Other places in the world, it is difficult to be a Christian, and you will get hunted down. And so we pray for those people as we think about those things, and at the same time, we give thanks that we don't live there. So endure. Whatever you have to endure it, and God will honor that, and we'll be okay. See you on Monday.